This is just the thing for jumpy nerves. Pizza with everything. Just relax.
Look at me. I'm still shaking. I don't know what happened.
It was a mistake. You've just got to get over it. Just be more careful next time.
But I almost rolled the bus.
We're going to sit here, we're going to have a little pizza, we're going to watch a little TV, and we're going to try to forget about it while they check the brakes on the bus, okay?
I've never lost control like that. I tried to put on the brake.
Don't touch that brake. Dial. It's time to find out how the wonderful world of physical science affects you. It's Transman's world of physical science. Word association. Ready? Gravity. Inertia. Coefficient of friction. Had that once, was sick for a week. Kinetic energy. Centrifugal force. No, they're not martial arts movies. They are principles of basic physics that affect vehicle dynamics, particularly if the vehicle you're driving happens to be a bus. Oh, now we're paying attention. Let's look at pictures. Centrifugal force. Did you ever put the toy soldiers on the record player? You know you did. Well, the exact same thing happens when a bus takes a curve. See, centrifugal force makes the bus and the passengers want to move to the outside of the curve. Now, if you're going fast, like Speed Racer out there, the centrifugal force pushes the bus even harder towards the outside of the curve. And the tighter the curve, the more centrifugal force there is. I mean, if it had been icy or rainy, that bus could have ended up way the heck over here.
I don't understand how it could be something as simple as centrifugal force.
Oh my goodness! It's viewer mail time. Let's read this letter. Dear Transman, which would be me, I don't understand how your bus example could be something as simple as centrifugal force. Please clarify. Signed, Phil the bus driver. Weird last name. However, you are positively right. It is more than centrifugal force. It is all of the things I talked about at the beginning of the show. So, grab another piece of pizza and I will clarify the situation. There are 5 big factors that determine how easy, or not so easy, eh, Phil? How easy it is to maneuver your bus. The first is kinetic energy. Kinetic energy is a combination of weight and speed in motion. So as a 20 or 30,000 pound bus goes for the curve, it's got kinetic energy out the wazoo. And every time you double your speed, you quadruple your kinetic energy. So if a bus is going 30 miles per hour, it's got 4 times as much kinetic energy as a bus at 15 miles per hour. Factor number 2 is inertia. Inertia is how much an object resists any change in its motion. Like lawyers to a car wreck, it's hard to stop them. Now, kinetic energy and inertia go together like hot dogs and mustard. See, the more kinetic energy a bus has, the more it's going to resist any change in the way it's moving. That's why you skid. See, a bus full of kinetic energy is going down the road. You hit the brake pedal, the inertia kicks in, and you skid. Because this 30,000 pound bus doesn't want to stop just because the wheels did. So, when you're going toward a curve in the road, you want to turn a lot more than your vehicle does. When you add that to the centrifugal force we talked about earlier, it is a miracle you made it through that turn at all. Of course, you do have some help, courtesy of gravity and friction. See, gravity is the force that keeps your bus down against the road. Friction, simply put, is how much traction you have. Friction is good. The more friction you have, the more control you have. But lots of stuff like tire tread wear and pressure, bus weight and speed, the condition of the road surface, and all of the other factors we've been talking about, they all affect how much friction you have. It's like tag team wrestling. Inertia and kinetic energy are using the centrifugal force against gravity and the coefficient of friction. Of course, you make your turn worse if you use your brake while you're turning. See, when you do that, you're trying to change directions 2 times, stopping and turning at the same time. And inertia, well, inertia gets pretty ticked off. And since buses are usually real long and kind of top-heavy, centrifugal force makes these bad boys want to whip around and fall over. So play it smart. Brake before the curve. You see, that decreases your inertia. Then accelerate slightly through the curve. That helps you get your kinetic energy going with you again. Stop. Transman's pop quiz. Stop the tape now and take the pop quiz you got in your handouts. I'll give you the answers after you review what you've learned so far. Don't you just hate true and false tests? This time, the answers were all true. Count them. All true. But you know, it ain't enough to know the basics. You also gotta understand how all these concepts of physics fit in with all kinds of things you don't even think about, like acceleration and braking. Blackjack. It's a pretty safe bet all bus drivers could stand to learn a few things about acceleration and braking.
What?
For anyone who missed it, I'll speak slowly. Bus drivers can always learn more about acceleration and braking.
Who does that guy think he is? I've been driving a bus for a long time. I'm gonna call that station up.
Let's take a call.
Hello, my name is Bill. You're absolutely right. I've been driving a bus for years, and I know I need to learn more about acceleration and braking. Can you explain it?
No perspiration. Let's do the easy one first. Acceleration. See, when you start to move, you're attacking the inertia of being stopped. This, of course, resists the new direction, causing your bus to pitch backwards. See, that's why everybody ends up at the back end when you take off too fast. What you want to do is accelerate steadily and smoothly. And when you accelerate, pretend there's a raw egg on the gas pedal. Of course, acceleration isn't going to help you shoot out into traffic, but it will give you the following advantages. It reduces the risk of running into the vehicle in front of you. Always a good thing. It makes for a more comfortable ride for your passengers, gets better fuel mileage, and it reduces wear and tear on the bus. Now, the same is true when you stop. Slow and steady wins the race. Now, where have I heard that before? When you're going to stop, ease off the accelerator early and let the engine slow the bus down. Remember the egg? Give yourself plenty of room to brake. See, the old 4-second following distance does pay off. So use a light, even pedal pressure to slow down gradually. See, this keeps the passengers in their seats, which means they won't be flying up to the front and bothering you. And it gives the people behind you plenty of notice so they won't have to have a bus in their windshield. Smooth start, smooth stop. Nice and easy. Saves on bus wear and tear. Sounds kind of like a Whitney Houston song, doesn't it? The greatest love of... Sorry. So keep your seat and stay behind the white line. There is a lot more to braking than not breaking eggs. You've also got to understand stopping distance. Let's take a microscope look. Normal braking is broken, that's pretty wild, huh? It's broken down into 3 parts. Perception distance, reaction distance, and braking distance equal your total stopping distance. Hum along if you know the words. Perception distance is how far your bus goes while you recognize a reason to stop. You see a red light. You say to yourself, red means stop. So while you see and think about this, the bus is still going. Now, the amount of time this takes is different for each person. Reaction distance is how far the bus travels while you take your foot off the accelerator and put it on the brake. The average time is about 3/4 of a second. So what's 3/4 of a second? Well, if you're driving a bus, and you are, well, at 20 miles per hour, it's 22 feet. And at 50 miles per hour, it's about 55 feet. See, that's how far you travel while you move your foot. Now, braking distance is equal to the amount of kinetic energy and inertia as opposed to the gravity and friction times pi squared. And I have never seen square pies. See, all that means is that it takes a bus a lot longer to stop than a car does. Okay, a bus and a car are going down the road at 30 miles an hour. No, it isn't a story problem, okay? Anyway, they both hit the brakes at exactly the same time. Now, it takes the car 18 feet to come to a complete stop, but it takes the bus 45 feet. And if the bus is going 60, it's got 4 times more kinetic energy and inertia trying to keep it from stopping. This time, it takes 180 feet. This is the best case. If the road is slick with rain, ice, and snow, it can take up to 3 times as long. See, that means be especially careful on bridges and overpasses when it's cold. See, ice forms on them before it does on the road. That's what that sign means. Loose gravel, sand, spills, etc., they work along the same principle. See, you have less traction, friction that is, less traction to compensate for your inertia. So you slide a little, and it takes longer to stop. Now that's not the same as skidding. Skidding means that your wheels get tired of fighting against inertia and one or more of them just gives up and starts sliding. The last hindrance to stopping distance is hydroplaning. Hydroplaning happens when you drive too fast through standing water and your tires sort of skip across the surface of the road like rocks across a pond. Now the best response to all of this is to ease your foot off the gas, which is commonly referred to as the accelerator, and let the drag of the engine slow you down until you have good traction with the road again. If you start to skid, turn your steering wheel in the direction of the skid so that you're working with your inertia to regain control of the bus. Hard or fast braking causes skidding, and it aggravates sliding and hydroplaning. And let's have none of this Arnold Schwarzenegger 2-foot driving. It causes skids and lack of control. Trust me, or I say to you, hasta la vista, baby. Now, I know that some of your new buses, especially paratransit buses, have an anti-lock braking system, also called ABS. Ooh, ah. Well, here's the Reader's Digest version. ABS senses when one or more of the wheels is going to lock up and prevents it from doing so by releasing pressure over and over again for fractions of a second. And so on and so on and Scooby-Dooby-Dooby. Anyhow, since the brakes don't lock, skidding is reduced, so you get more control in hard braking and low traction situations. Stop the tape. Stop it. Stop it now. Review the information. Take quiz number 2, and then come back. Did you catch on this time? The answers were all true again. Todos los truos. And here's what else. Your bus is ready again, so your break is over. Oh, well, I don't know about you, but I could use some review. And I know just the man. Thanks. Thank you very much. You're too kind. Remember, 5 factors affect how easy or not it is to control your bus. Kinetic energy and inertia work together to keep you going in the same direction, but they make it harder to change directions and stop. Centripetal force always pulls you towards the outside of any turn. And since buses are long and top-heavy, It makes them want to whip around and fall over. Gravity and friction work together to give you traction. The more traction you have, the more control you have. Always accelerate and brake slowly and smoothly. Speed kills. And remember, it takes you longer to stop than it does for a car. And no 2-foot driving, or I be back. Anytime you slide or skid, brake gradually, ease off the brake, and brake gradually again. Turn your steering wheel in the direction of the skid. Thanks for tuning in and giving me your attention. I love attention! During this training program, be the best in your field. It's the cool way to be. Transman, leave a note. Next time, no anchovies, okay?